Hey, my Pelletiers. Just a quick update on some things. Remember, I want you to see something here. I got a Kenyan coffee here. I got a Honduran Special Reserve coffee. I have a Sumatra. I have another Honduran, a Honduran origins, and I also have a Guatemalan uh, coffee here, and I have another coffee over there as well. And so I'm showing you these to show you that I'm serious about this coffee roasting thing here. And again, me and a couple of my friends were looking, trying to figure out which is the best coffee for us, and also what's the best roasting degrees. Whether how we should roast it, as well as do we want it to be medium or medium dark or dark. And so with that, there's a couple of things I want you to know, and this is important. Before I said usually after you roast your coffee, you want to let it sit 24 to 36 hours. I've really done a lot more research, and a lot of the experts are actually saying that you want your coffee to rest. If it's a dark roast, you want it to rest for at least 1 week. And in a dark roast, the pores are open more, and that's why they're a little bit more oily than regular coffee or medium coffee, and or light roast coffee. And so it's exposed more to the oxygen, and the carbon dioxide is being released quicker. But still, you want it to kind of rest and let it breathe and get balanced out for at least 7 days. And what happens is it's going to balance it out where it's going to be less bitter and become more sweet and have a better aroma. And it actually says that coffee should last. Treat it right, treat it properly, where you try to keep as much carbon dioxide out of it as possible. Usually with a one-way valve or something like that, your coffee can last up to 3 months. And I'm going to grab something really quick here. I showed you these before. So these are what we normally use. This is a canister that sucks out all the oxygen and also all the carbon dioxide, and it has a pump action to it. And then here's another canister, and you can see the top of it. It has a one-way valve to release all the carbon dioxide, and so that keeps the coffee fresh. And but if you don't have one of those, what you can do, you can put your coffee in a jar like this, but you got to make sure it's in a dark place, not in the refrigerator, because that can dry your coffee out, or a freezer can dry your coffee out. And so what you do though is once a day you need to burp your coffee, and that burping means letting out that carbon dioxide out of your beans. Okay, and so you want to do that, once a day, at least once a day. And again, so for dark roast coffee, you want to let it rest for 7 days before you start drinking it or start grinding it and using it. If you're roasting a lighter coffee, the pores are closed even more than the darker roast, and so that means the carbon dioxide is not being released as fast. And so get this: if you're doing a light roast coffee, you want that coffee to rest for at least 2 weeks. That's right, you want it to rest for at least 2 weeks because you want it to release all that carbon dioxide. And once again, don't forget to burp your coffee. Let those gases out of there. Get them out of there. And so, if you do that, a light roast coffee can. They actually are saying now that light roast coffee can last you, up to, could last you up to 6 months. But they're like, if you're using a dark roast coffee for espresso and things like that, because it's going under a high pressure yield, it's going to take more abuse when it's being roasted. When it's being used. And so because it's a high pressure yield, you want to use that coffee, and that's also a darker roast coffee. So you want to use that coffee within 27 days or so. You start using it after 7 days, and you want to be finished with it in about 27 days or a month, because after that it starts to break down. You can still use it, but you're just going to lose a lot of that flavor profile from that coffee. Okay, so once again, dark roast, let it rest for 7 days. Light roast, you want to let it rest for about 2 weeks before you start brewing it. Okay, And also, I was going to. This is an update on. Remember, I made kombucha from scratch. That means I didn't have any SCOBY. I didn't have a SCOBY. I just used a bottle of kombucha with my tea, and you can see that in Kombucha 101 video. And so I want to show you an update on that SCOBY and show you how nice that SCOBY is coming along. It's actually a really nice SCOBY. And tell you what, I'm going to grab the not the microphone. I'm going to grab the camera real quick and kind of let you see this SCOBY that's developed. And this is just from nothing. This had no SCOBY whatsoever. And now, as you can see, there's a nice SCOBY that's being developed there. And this is after 2 weeks. And I'm going to show you how bubbly this is too. I'm trying to get this where you can see it. And so this is showing that the fermentation is happening. Okay? You see all that? See how it starts to foam? That shows me that the fermentation is happening, but also I can tell that the fermentation is happening because I have a SCOBY that has developed. And now my SCOBY has gone down to the bottom right now because I just stirred it up. But as you can, again, you can see that SCOBY is really starting to develop really good. And so in 4 weeks, this kombucha is going to be good to go. It's going to be ready for you to drink and enjoy. So once again, I just wanted to show you that this does work. Okay, so also in that 101 kombucha video, if you click down below where the bottom arrow points down, if you click on that, it will open it up and it'll actually give the ingredients and the directions of how to make a kombucha from scratch. And most of my videos, I try to put some type of more description or directions or ingredients that I use in the different things that I do. Okay, so always make sure you look down there so you can check things out. All right, so I'm hoping that SCOBY doesn't scare you, and you know what my motto is: don't knock it until you try it. All right, so this is the Booch Man. Enjoy your coffee, enjoy your Booch, enjoy your ginger beer. I'm going to be making blueberry ginger beer a little bit later on, and I'll show you some videos of that as well. And I started my Canadian bacon brine, and so I got some pork loin that's brine for my Canadian bacon. So I got a lot of yummy things coming, so hopefully you'll stay tuned in and keep checking back. And please, hey, subscribe and tell your friends about me and let them subscribe too. I was just doing this for my friends or for my family, but they encouraged me to try to reach out to other people as well. So if you're interested, I'd love to have you subscribe. All right, you guys have a great day. God bless you all. This is the Booch Man.